with Yahweh. His son was Methuselah. And Methuselah lived longer than any other man on the face of the earth.
That's
because
right.
his father was one that walked with Yahweh.
That's right. That's right.
We have that same power. And I am not talking about mythology. I'm talking about physical manifestations of eternal beings. That how in the world we gonna be a husband to the fauna and the flora? Trees live for how long? You born and then you become 70 and you die and the tree is keep on moving. Something wrong. Something real wrong. So, Isaiah 2, it says, many people shall come and say what? Teach us of our ways. Teach us our dietary discipline. So, when we think about Hebrew, we have to think about coming from sickness to vibrant health, coming from death to life, coming from degeneration to regeneration. All right? Coming from being transient to being eternal and permanent. So, in brevity, this is the greatest time that has ever been upon the planet. Two salient points in the development of humanity: the fall of the Adamic civilization and the rise of the Adamic civilization. Brothers and sisters, be ye resurrected and do the works of those that were ordained to be the redeemers of the earth. Selah.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to New York with him. Get on that corner.
Jeremiah 12:14. Thus saith Yah against all mine evil neighbors.
So you see that? And today, the neighbor's still evil, brother. It's not time for that. They should beat that into plowshare yet. Because when I read the scriptures, the Messiah said when Satan go against Satan, they cannot stand. Right. And I was watching that last thing with Trump and the French president, and even in America, they're impeaching them one another. So you see that this kingdom is out. So is it time to feel sorry for them? That's their fault. That's not our fault, brothers and sisters. That's their fault. We go through our punishment with fear, trembling. It's time for them to go through theirs. Right?
That touch the inheritance which have caused my people Israel to inherit.
So they don't want to do this. Our people celebrating Christmas today. Where did we learn that? Who taught it to us?
Behold, I will pluck them out of their land and pluck out the house of Jehoiada from among them.
Read on.
And it shall come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them. I will bring them again, every man to his heritage, and every man to his land.
So the Most High said, "I bring every man to his heritage and every man to his land," which we agree with, but under one condition. Read on.
And it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people.
So you see what they have to do?
That's right.
They have to purge themselves, man. They have to purge themselves. They have to diligently. So if not alphabet, what we teach our kids, A, B, C, D, they have to rewrite that into the Hebrew. They have to diligently. Read it from the top again. I use the word elders and the elder sister too. Right? So it's a real privilege for us to be here in your presence and to get the opportunity to say something, to speak. Sir mentioned elder. I'm an elder for my congregation. But I know as a nation, the scripture says 50 and up. I'm almost close. But when the priest went up, the priest mentioned brothers in Guyana, brothers in Trinidad, but I got the truth in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
Right? And that was from 97. Wow. And brothers and sisters was there before me. Kahan was one of them who was on the street in the 90s teaching there in Jamaica. Wow. So I've been wake up since. And I'm coming to your point, 7 minutes, about who we are and where we stand.
Yes, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people.
So they have to learn our ways. It's the only true ways, brothers and sisters. That's why the Torah said the law what we have was what? Our wisdom amongst these nations. Oh, you're going to pass a bill about your forced homosexuality on our people, man. You think really you can be forgiven for that now? You understand me? That's something you're teaching in school. You take the Bible out of the schools, and you have drag queens going there teaching our children, man. Yes. So that's why the Most High call them evil neighbors, brothers and sisters. So when you see we out there in the front line in the Americas or anywhere we at, and we say the white man is the devil, what the Bible says we come. We stand by that, brothers and sisters. And you can ask a question after, we can explain it. Okay, if somebody pours something like that on our people, you cannot call him good yet. That's why God called him evil neighbors. Right? Read on, the brother.
To swear by my name.
And they have to swear by the only name. We're not going to teach our people nothing but no Jesus no more. They kill millions of people for that name Jesus. So I hear one of my brothers said our people call upon many names. But they have to come back to the ancient name, brothers and sisters. That's why we say hallelujah. You have to be that Yah.
When thy son asketh thee in time to come, say, what meaneth the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Yah our power have commanded you? Then shalt thou say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and Jehovah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Jehovah showed signs and wonders, great and sore upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his house before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in to give us the land which he swore unto our fathers, where we are standing right now. And Jehovah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Jehovah our power, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. And it shall be righteousness unto us if we observe to do not some, but all this commandment.
That's right.
Before Jehovah our power, as he hath commanded us. Righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach to any people or any person.
That's right.
In conclusion, brothers and sisters, there's important prerequisites for unity. Humility has to be at the top. Righteousness, love, patience. This is a redemptive process we talk about. It's not going to happen today. Tolerance, to love your brother even if he differs. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I want to end with these words. Will two walk together except they have agreed? In Hebrew it reads like this. Hayel ku shenayim yakdal vilti'im no adu. Now, most of us, if we know Hebrew, we would say maskim. We must agree. But that doesn't say that in Hebrew. It says vilti'im no adu. The root of the word is wa'ad. Wa'ad is speaking about, it's the same word for conference, comes from this same root. It's really that two can only work together when they meet and their minds meet at the same place. So when you meet and you coming from different directions, the only way you can walk together is that you begin to have the same mind to go in the same direction.
Okay.
So I'm praying that out of all of this, that we'll all understand that We gotta walk together. And it's not just in the idea of agreeing, it's the idea of meeting, because it's the same thing as a conference. It's a committee. We're all on board for Yah's interest. May the Holy One of Israel bless you. I thank you for listening and giving me this time. Told that to all that have made this possible.
Hallelujah.
Listen, see, Cohen pulled one on.
That was a big meal.
Yeah, it was a great meal. He pulled one on. See, when he walked up, he had one piece of paper, right? Now, I assumed he was going to read that one sheet of paper. But this brother, this mighty Levite, the print was about that small. And he had 3 columns. I saw it. I peeped it. You know, he kept that one little piece like, oh, he's going to be short. Because he knows go ahead. You know, he had 3 columns in the print. He had 3 pages on one sheet. What's more? But in all honesty, we do know the Kohen. I mean, really, it was Todak Kohen. But we are going to have to keep our time, brothers. All the speakers, we have to follow somebody else put a powerful platform together, and we can get a lot done. Okay, so let's try to stick to, when you see Star come up and stand next to you, that means your time is really over.
Right.
And that's the polite way. Okay? So, and a lot of you sitting out there be presenting at some point. So let's be cool.
The master has spoken. Hallelujah. I was bound because I remember standing up here and a candle blew out once, and I just simply let me relight this candle, and I got upbraided by the priesthood. Said, don't you touch that? So I know about the Levite. Moving right along, we want to ask our brother Mathatwa to come and share again on this idea of identity, who we are, what does it mean, what is the mission, and defining that. I asked my brother Mathatwa, I called him Elder Mathatwa, and then I was told, no, he's just brother. Brother Mathatwa from the house of David and part of the leadership group of
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah, you can use that one.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom, brothers and sisters. After that sermon, well, first thing I just want to say though, myself and our priest Kahan here, it's really humble. It's a blessed experience to be here with you elders, because I use the word elders, and the elder sister too, right? So it's a real privilege for us to be here in your presence and to get the opportunity to say something, to speak. Sir mentioned elder. I'm an elder for my congregation, but I know as a nation, the scripture says 50 and up. I'm almost close. But when the priest went up, the priest mentioned brothers in Guyana, brothers in Trinidad, but I got the truth in Jamaica.
Hallelujah.
Right? And that was from 97. Wow. And brothers and sisters was there before me, Kahan was one of them who was on the street in the 90s teaching there in Jamaica. So I've been wake up since. And I'm coming to your point, 7 minutes, about who we are and where we stand. We know we Hebrew Israelite,
That's right.
We know we Hebrew Israelite. Right? So if I should say where I stand 4 years ago when we meet, or 5, and where I stand now, it's 2 different ground. You understand me? Because we mentioned what happened in New Jersey. And I can say after that was a propaganda. That those families never killed nobody. You understand me? Because they bury those people the next day. So they say. And if you shooting into a store, who you going to dictate who kill who in the store? So I'll say that was a propaganda against us. But that lead up to where now we at the point in this 400 years captivity where we need our elders to stand up, man. And I don't want to hear nobody tell me about the elder of Dimona or the elder of this congregation. When you become an elder, you become an elder for your nation. You understand me? And we see we in America, brothers and sisters will have their own views on the One West. But we are products from One West. And when we get One West, that was the best thing for us.
Right. Right.
Because here, Sarah mentioned brothers used to with the Bible under their arm to debate Muslim. But you have to remember in America, in the 80s, when my elders and Barak, Banyami and Ash, Kahan came in 91, in the 90s, what was America? What we know.
That's right.
And for brothers to get that word, and for me to wake up in 97 in Jamaica, I have a brother in prison for 200 years. That could have been me, right? But with brothers coming teaching us the way, the truth, and to keep the laws of God, we come and we sit and we said, I never know Benjamin went to Ghana. So even that going to be something personal now. Ghana is all the way in South America. Jamaica is just 3 hours and 25 minutes from America. He never been there. You understand me? So when I came, no, we hear negativity about this community. Don't go in there, don't do that, don't do this. So one night we came here and we said, listen man, let's roll up in this place.
That's right.
And when we see the setting, we say, okay, we struggle in America to set up a government.
Yes.
But there was a government here.
Right.
Benjamin never know much about him. Still don't know much about him. And we came here and after a couple conversations, I asked Sarah, say, as leadership, what y'all doing? Can y'all just sit here? Everybody just living their own life looking. But the Most High will pull you up sometime for that too. Because the Most High saying set you as a what? A watchman. Not for who in Dimona, but for the entire nation. Right? So even for us to be here today, we part of that watchman ministry.
Yes.
But in our community, we say Mashiach community, the term Messianic. So we believe in not a power we call Yahushua, we call the Most High Yahweh. But after coming here, I went back and me and Barak, we sit in the council and we discuss. And I said, listen, I remember we get a couple books. And I said, Benjamin Israel 50 years ago. We talk about America in the 80s and the 90s. What was it like in Israel 50 years ago? So we start looking at it and Barak said, ah, you're right, Ak. And I remember we mentioned Josiah Ford. He was a non-Messianic. So we said we mentioned this man at every Passover, everything we keep. We mentioned Matthew Bivens. They were non-Messianic. So I said, Barak, Benjamin outdone all of these brothers. So then we start mention Benjamin's name and the works that he do for everywhere we congregate from that time since. Because the scripture telling in the book of Sirach, you have to do what? Honor great man. And for 50 years, I cannot dictate what happened but I know it wasn't easy. I see some video clips where it was talking about the Europeans and all that, but we still have the same Europeans today, brothers and sisters. Right. You understand me? So for the end of this 400 years, and for the Most High to put us here, and we coming back, what the Most High have in store for us? And your brother said it should be full, but it don't have to be full. Because the Most High have to work on us first. If we said, it's us, we in the season of Hanukkah, right? Where he said rededication. We don't have a normal temple now, so the body is the temple to rededicating back to the Most High. So listen, things might happen. As a your brother said earlier, what we have to do is what? Let the Most High work through us. You understand me? So it's not even gonna be, I put my point in terms of my messianic belief, but it's just to see where and the opinion of our elders. As we said, we back in the Americas, we need it. We need the elder from our man, and we do need the elders from our elder sisters. Okay. You understand me? Because some of us coming from that world, it's hard for some of us to transform. It's hard for some of us to transform. And then we have a concept that a elder is only in this congregation. But we know scriptural, it's not so. You understand me? So it's as I said, it's a pleasure here. And I still want to follow up on the after question. Your brothers mentioned Ben-Ami as their Mashiach. But I believe in Yahushua as my Mashiach. And the brothers from the African region and all the other region, I just want to say Shalom and the Most High bless and keep us. I'm just going to make conscious something before I read the scripture. Yeah, I want to read the scripture here, Isaiah 12:14. Because when we talk about stop, war stop, you understand me? The war going to stop when we dictate it.
Hallelujah.
It says, as I say, you all elders, but we in America, where we say we the street teachers, we go on the street. I know some of you can't take it, but everybody have their purpose. Everybody have their purpose.
Right.
Because we have to make this white man know that we have that temperament we can turn up to.
Yes, sir. That's right.
We're going to let him know that in the four part of this world.
Make it plain.
Understand me? Because before they can say their peace and all this stuff for what they do to us as a nation of people. And even what they're still doing to us. Oh, you're going to put black Hebrew Israelite. He was a part of the black Hebrew Israelite. Oh, you're going to put something like that out there. The first thing, we're not black Hebrew Israelite.
Yes.
You understand me? And I hear Sar say, we're not Jewish neither. You understand me? And I'm speaking from the tribe of Benjamin. Right? I'm speaking from the tribe of Benjamin. Right? So I just want to read this.
Yes. Yes.
And now to the Euphrates.
So I'm going to read something. Jeremiah, the 12th chapter, and the 14th verse. Start, my brother.
So,
Jeremiah 12:14. Thus saith Yah against all mine evil neighbors.
So you see that? And today, the neighbor's still evil, brothers. It's not time for that. They should beat that into plowshare yet. When I read the scriptures, the Messiah said when Satan go against Satan, they cannot stand.
Right.
And I was watching that last thing with Trump and the French president, and even in America, they're impeaching them one another. So you see that this kingdom is out. So is it time to feel sorry for them? That's their fault. That's not our fault, brothers and sisters. That's their fault. We go through our punishment with fear, trembling. It's time for they to go through theirs. Right?
Pain.
That touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit.
So they don't want to do this. Our people celebrating Christmas today. Where did we learn that? Who taught it to us?
Behold, I will pluck them out of their land, and pluck out the house of Jehoiada from among them.
Read on.
And it shall come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them. I will bring them again, every man to his heritage and every man to his land.
So the Most High said, "I'm bring every man to his heritage and every man to his land," which we agree with, but under one condition. Read on.
And it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people.
So you see what they have to do?
That's right.
They have to purge themselves, man. They have to purge themselves. They have to diligently. So if not alphabet, what we teach our kids, A, B, C, D, they have to rewrite that into the Hebrew, man. They have to diligently. Read it from the top again, huh?
And it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people.
So they have to learn our ways. It's the only true ways, brothers and sisters. That's why the Torah said the law what we have was what? Our wisdom amongst these nations. When you're going past a bill about your forced homosexuality in our people, man. You think really you can be forgiven for that now? You understand me? That's something you're teaching in school. You take the Bible out of the schools, and you have drag queens going there teaching our children. Man.
Yes, yes they do.
So that's why the Most High call them evil neighbors, brothers and sisters. So when you see we out there in the front line in the Americas or anywhere we at, and we say the white man is the devil, what the Bible speaks of. We stand by that, brothers and sisters. And you know, can ask a question after, we can explain it. Somebody pours something like that on our people, you cannot call him good yet. That's why God called him evil. Right? Read on, my brother.
To swear by my name.
And they have to swear by the only name. We're not going to teach our people nothing about no Jesus no more. They kill millions of people for that name Jesus.
That's right.
So I hear one of my brothers said our people call upon many names. But they have to come back to the ancient name, brothers and sisters. That's why we say hallelujah. You have to be that Yah.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yah liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, then shall they be built in the midst of my people.
So you see that? So then we have to learn all over again. And then that's how they're going to get peace on this earth, brothers and sisters. But we push salvation for the nation of Israel. My brothers in Africa, we saw the persecution there. I hear we mention about brothers in South Africa. I was watching something a couple weeks ago about Nelson Mandela's and blacks couldn't even take part in sports in South Africa, man. Not even 30 years ago. You understand me? So as I said, the Most I say sending plague and pestilence. He also telling, you finish up? He also telling Jeremiah the 18th chapter, come out of her. Most I say separate yourself from these people.
That's right.
Because he's going to send plague in these nations, brothers and sisters. So it's no greater time than now for us to come together as a nation of
Came.
But from the West, hold on, let me finish. We need our elders. It's not. All right. I hear about so much Nasik here. I shouldn't be coming to Israel to hear about Nasik. It should be on the platform that our nations have leaders who want to stand up for our people. Our sisters, especially, they need the guidance of elder sister. When they read the book of Romans 16 chapter, Paul tell you about this sister, PB and all of them. So as a nation of people, I can sit here and say, it's good to be here, but it's work need to be done because this is the last day. And we ain't have 100 years. If we have 5 more years, we're in problem, brothers and sisters.
Make it clear.
So as a young brother, I said, that's my time. Shalom.
Shalom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Make it plain.
When I tell you it's a new day.
New day.
In 77, 78, one of the roles that I had was to put the Saints on the planes at Kennedy Airport. That was the only East Coast international airport in those days. And so being there for a couple days back to back, because we were running in the high season coming up for New World, and I had to be there to make sure they got on the planes, I stayed a couple nights at times. And I would find myself walking through Harlem. And this particular evening, I was walking on 125th Street, and I looked across the street, and I see some brothers getting out of their car, going up to the second floor, and there was a Star of David in the window. It was the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And I said to myself, oh, it's some other Israelites. Let me go and let them know that we in the land.
Whole nother piece. That's a different piece. Not in the 70s.
How naive of me. I said, if I was on a learning curve a year ago, I was on a I was coyote on the mountain. You know, at that particular point. Needless to say, that class was about me. But it's a new day.
Hallelujah.
It's a new day.
Because
Absolutely.
who was with where's the tour Maration? Where's that red suit? He had stepped out. Who else was with me? Man of Valor Maganiel. When we rolled up in House of David for the new moon, right? You were there with us? We rolled up in there, and it was like being in a brotherhood meeting. It was a brotherhood. So it was like being up here in the Hilltop Mansion for a Missibah.
Wow.
Atur Yagdir was with us. We realized that, and it ain't something's changed.
Yes.
It's another reception. We
Whole
looked up
nother
after
spirit.
we felt that. We looked up and we actually saw some of our pictures on the wall in the House of David's sanctuary in Brooklyn.
My.
New day.
New day.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Last but not least, as many of us already know, we are pleased to have representing the kingdom of Yah, my brother from another mother. Rather obvious, wasn't it?
He talking about complexion. I was in the field, he was in that house.
I'm glad to say welcome to the house. My brother, our fellow servant and minister, Sar Eliakim Ben Yehuda.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
About the 7 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
7 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I never thought I heard you say that. Don't give him that mic. I think we're recording, right? Yeah, that's true. You know, I really don't need a mic. I am the mic. Okay, first of all, I'm going to surprise everybody. Kohen Mikael read all of my notes and copied my notes. And my brother Matatawa, he's a spirited, oriented individual. He speaks our language, doesn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not going to repeat anything that they have said, at least I hope not. But I wanted to, if I may, remind us about our historical origin and how through the challenges that we have faced as a people on this planet, how we overcame them and returned back home.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 11 and 14 is where we first find the word ever.
Cain.
Okay, and we're all familiar with the genealogy in Genesis. And the next time we hear of somebody identified as a Hebrew, is Abram.
That's right.
In Genesis 14 and 13. And I'm not going to read that because I'm just giving you some biblical references that you can refer to about our humble beginnings. And we hear hermeneutical and exegesis scholars, they define Hebrew or Ivri from the word in Hebrew, labor, is to pass over, or to cross over. And I wanted to just put small emphasis upon that because we as a people have always been crossing over bodies of water. The first body of water we crossed was the Euphrates, coming into the land of Canaan. All right? Joshua also crossed over what? The Jordan River. And those of us that went into the Western Hemisphere, we crossed over the Atlantic and the Mediterranean.
That's right.
Now, if you can just put in your head, because see, these are similitudes. These are similitudes of being in one area in the world and then having to go to a sacred address. And the sacred address came from a sacred promise. That we know that Abraham was promised, and his seed was promised from the Nile to the Euphrates.
Right.
That's a sacred address that has to manifest itself in our manifestation of becoming a nation. Because the thing about being a Hebrew, and if I may ask Hebrews a question, what time is it? What time is it?
Nation time.
What time is it?
Nation time.
And when you talk about nation, you're talking about a community of people that must have at least one nationality or diverse nationalities that have a specific territory and are governed by a government. That's if you are a Hebrew. We hear Dr. Dimona Israel talk all the time about sovereignty.
Big word.
Sovereign, authority, power. The power to determine your own destiny. The power to define who you are and who you represent. That's key to know thyself. Because if you don't know thyself, you don't know Yah-Yahuwah. Because if I'm made in the image of Yah-Yahuwah, then I must be characterized by truth. And if I am not rooted in truth, righteousness, justice, mercy, love, unity, harmony, I'm not a Hebrew.
My.
Hallelujah.
So we know that if we read Psalms 83, you know what it reads. know what the wicked said? Let us cut them off. From doing what?
Be a nation.
Being a nation. So if you were a Hebrew that was a truth literate, once you seen Hebrews leaving the diaspora, wherever they came from, Jamaica, Bermuda, Puerto Rico, America, Europe, England, I don't care where they came from, but if you saw them coming to this sacred address talking about nation, then you must understand that was the fulfillment of Daniel 2 and 44. Good. I really don't need these notes. Because the books have got to be open now.
Like you didn't need that microphone.
But we as a people, we face the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Jebusites, the Girgashites, the Philistines, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Syrians, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Americans, and the Europeans.
That's right.
We are that impregnable people. Without a shadow of a doubt. And then you got to understand about nations. We're not talking about people of color. We're talking about people with the fiber of morality. Everybody believe in God. And if that's all we had to do was believe, we wouldn't have got in this mess in the first place.
I know you're right. I know you're right.
I like that about the stone, you know?
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to tell you, see, I'm one of them, I wouldn't have to have no stone. I'm going to run through them. You understand? Because, see, I want to make contact.
The mic, the notes, and the song.
But we got to understand about that word, Ibri.
I call it.
Because we also have ubar. See, an ubar is an embryo. Did you know that? Because when sperm hits an egg, what happens?
Fertilized.
Okay, it's fertilized, and then it becomes an embryo. Something is coming alive. So if I'm a Hebrew, I got to be cultivating your mind with the sacred seed of truth so you can come alive. Because you know all of us was those dry bones in that valley. And the only thing that was going to bring us alive is that we had to hear somebody speaking truth. And then we had to see somebody being an example of that truth. See, the book stops right here. It stops right here.
That's true. That's true.
Ben-Ami's responsibility was to resurrect the dry bones, and then we become what? The lamb. You understand? We hear this word about Lamb of God all the time. But a Lamb of God is an individual that is anointed and appointed. That's right. To anoint and appoint what? Others. To carry on this new creation. Because in the scriptures, it says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. A new mind that was going to create institutions, a new environment. And then I was going to see a new Jerusalem, a new people. We ain't talking about no geographical area up there on Mount Moriah.
Talking about no water and stone.
And he said I would see a new people. And it said in this Jerusalem, they have a new life, a new intelligence.
Dang, dang, dang.
And it wouldn't be no temple, wouldn't be no concrete temple, but it would be the soul temple. Did y'all hear what I said? And then it would be a great paradise. A great paradise. Other words, heaven on earth will actually exist because those that have been impregnated with the seed of truth would be the living examples. And I know my time is running out because I know he's about to get up. But our time is eternal now. This is our time because we must understand, and I want to close with this. We got to go from education to dedication.
Absolutely. That's right.
You got it.
And we know
You got it.
the man that didn't die, his name was Enoch.
Right, absolutely.
In Hebrew, Hanok. He said he
A debate. We're going to engage in a discussion. We're not going to beat each other up. We're not going to denigrate one another. We're going to state what our positions are. We're going to listen in all sincerity. And by the way, we are asking that aside from, and I'm looking at who is currently, recording, we want to make sure that no one else is wanted to be focused on the proceedings. We will have, at the conclusion of the conference, we will have the opportunity to share what has transpired. We want everyone to be focused here. We don't want that outside distraction. We're not going to be Facebooking live, etc. But we want you to know that this is our strategy session for going forward.
Hallelujah.
From all quarters of the world, not just from the other side, but from Nigeria, from Zambia, from South Africa. Got a message from the Zulu in South Africa. They couldn't make it. They sent us a message. Got a message from Kohen Netanya. We'll see it tonight. Couldn't make it. Sent us a message. I forget the year, but had to have been back in the 80s. And out of Bename's vision came this symbol, the New Jerusalem peace symbol, the broken spear. And it was built on the idea of Isaiah and Micah, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
Right.
and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. We don't interpret this as meaning that America and France and Russia are going to take an M60 tank and make it into a tractor. They're not going to take an F-35 and make it into a crop duster. They are going to use those weapons on each other. If you've been paying attention to what happened in the recent NATO summit, Donald Trump is doing exactly what has to happen to create those circumstances.
Exactly what has to happen.
The French president said Russia is not our enemy.
Right.
There's some prophetic things that we are living. This prophecy pertains to us, who not long ago were beating each other up with our doctrines, our beliefs, our differences, and that is what represents that is what we're putting down. That is what we're breaking. We're no longer going to beat each other up with these weapons. We're going to turn these weapons into implements to feed our people and nourish them in the direction that they must go.
Hallelujah.
Last comment before we go into this panel. When you receive your panel packages, your program packages, your conference packages, materials, a copy of this particular message of Ben-Ami is included in it. This is a message that he delivered in 2003 at a national meeting here with the brothers and sisters, with the saints here. And it was helpful for me when I first went across the water to begin this process of sharing this idea and this vision to recruit you to come up. And when Man of Valor Maganiel and I went to Mount Vernon, New York to observe the 100th anniversary of Prophet William S. Crowley's establishment of a temple in Mount Vernon, I was on a steep learning curve. I was on a steep learning curve, but I had to recall our father teaching us about how we stood on Crowley's shoulders. That was drilled into us by both Prince Shaliak and His Excellency Ben-Ami. It was drilled into us, a respect and reverence for those men that laid this foundation, those men and women that laid this foundation that we could be here today. And so this message will be there in your conference package, from the knowledge of identity to the knowledge of redemption. Our purpose after arriving here on this soil changed. We obviously knew our identity, but on arrival here, our mission and purpose changed. It was to establish the kingdom and to pave the way for our redemption and to establish institutions of redemption. Hopefully in the next 7 days you will witness and have a chance to partake of that, to witness of those institutions in place, see where you can take them back with you. But in the Father's words, in our Father's words, he said, in the 60s, we used to put our Bible under our arm and went out looking for a debate with the Muslims. Now, see, Gabriel, did y'all do that? In Chicago, in Jewtown, moving around in Chicago.
My.
Went out looking for a debate.
Oh, yes.
With Muslims, Hebrews, anybody, over the scriptures.
Yes.
We went forth trying to beat them down in the knowledge of doctrine. Show them up in our knowledge of the scriptures. We do not want that anymore. We want harmony and we want peace.
Absolutely. Hallelujah.
With that, we're going to move into, do we have it? No? Okay, so I have to sing? Yeah. No, I don't. Y'all hear the raspiness in my voice. Does she know? I don't want her looking at me cross-eyed. Nope. I will not have Atra Marnina looking at me crazy.
She's always ready.
Look at her. Look at her. Are you ready? Would you grace us with a musical interlude? And you can have us sing with you. Hallelujah. Where's the
Hallelujah.
Orthodox Israel, Beno, Adonai Hamashiach, Kolazikab, Sarab, Atarab, Mikol Kasida, Gamal. Distinguished guests, it's so wonderful to see all of you here. We're so proud and excited.
Yes.
We're overjoyed to see everyone here.
Okay.
So, the song that I've chosen for all of us to help sing, I will take nothing for my journey.
I will take nothing for my journey. I will take nothing for my journey. I shall go. See what the end is gonna be. Hallelujah. I will take nothing for my journey. I will take nothing for my journey. I will take nothing for my journey. I will go. I shall go. See what the end is gonna be. Maya said that I will be learning on this journey. Maya said I will be learning on this journey. So I will go, I shall go. See what the end is gonna be. Hallelujah.
Maya said that we'll be learning on this journey.
Maya said that we'll be learning on this journey. Maya said that we'll be learning on this journey. I will go, I shall go. See what the end is gonna be. Hallelujah. We'll take nothing on this journey. I will take nothing for my journey. I will take nothing for my journey. I will go, I shall go.
We
Know what the end is gonna be.
We'll
go, I shall go. Know what the end is gonna be. Hallelujah.
That permanently by knowing we're gonna seize the power to define, redefine that song, those lyrics. We know what the end is gonna be. That was like the coin opened up earlier talking about one of our first teachings. Dr. Eliyahu said we didn't peek to the end of the book. We know what the end gonna be. That makes the journey a little easier, don't it? Hallelujah. So I want to recognize in our audience one of the daughters of the great headmaster and dean, eternal dean of the School of the Prophets, Sister Shifra Bat Nasi.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We as sons and daughters who were up under Nasik's wing may have spent more time in the room than his daughters. Am I right?
No doubt.
And we thank you for your perseverance and patience, knowing what was going on. And maybe not knowing what was going on, but you understand now. Hallelujah. Okay. So, our first session, we've asked. First session, first of all, is entitled, Know Thyself, Then What? Know thyself, then what? It's in the spirit of when you go and apply for a job, you are given a title. You have a title and a name. You get the little accolades. You have something that might go on the door. You get your little business card, and you might have that alphabet soup behind the name that shows you are qualified, etc. And so knowing yourself is not just a title. Knowing yourself comes with a job description. And so that's the then what. That's the now what. Okay? We want to know what does it mean to be Hebrew, what it means to be an Israelite, what it means. Do you call yourself a black Jew? Are you a Judean? Are you Jewish? Is what you're advocating religion? Is it spirituality? Is it both? Can it be both? Is it more than semantics to say we're spiritual and not religious? Are you part of a congregation, or are you talking about a nation? And so all of this is what we want to explore. And first up, I will ask our beloved brother from quite a journey he's made, and I've been on some of these journeys with him. Still haven't made it to his current abode in South America, in Guyana. He's come from Brooklyn to Guyana, back to Brooklyn. Am I right, Coyne?
Moved on to that.
Huh?
Tried Guyana, Florida, North Carolina, New York, Israel.
In Israel. Well, I wasn't going to leave that out. I was just referring to that little bump in the road you hit back to New York and then back to Guyana. and you left out South Africa, because you and I were on that one together. And so he's our dear brother. He is one who actually, we will have the photograph available later for you to see. He's actually one who was blessed to stand with Ben-Ami and to hold up those two sticks, you know, and marking that idea, this idea of bringing these two families together, you know, the house of Judah and the house of Israel together in making us again one nation. I guess I'm kind of trampling on the idea that we're coming into, but nevertheless, I'd like to introduce to you Mikael HaKohen Ben Levi.
There we go.
If you can sit there and deliver it, or you can come up to the podium. It's up to you. All right. We're asking that each panelist start off with between 7 to 10 minutes to lay out your high points, your key points, 7 to 10 minutes on this particular topic. We will have another round after that. And questions from the floor will be available, as well as from our head table. We have at the head table, again, we have Priest Kahan, we have Woman of Valor Israel, and we have our dear brother Ak Eliyahu. Okay? They will have first dibs at the rounds of questions. All right?
Is this okay? Can you hear me?
Hey.
First, let me begin by giving all honor to the Holy One of Israel. It just would be remiss on my part if I wasn't to say that I must start with affectionately known as Abba Ben-Ami in the list of great servants that have been in our day and time. I've met many of the men from Rabbi Matthews to Rabbi Yirmiyahu, Elder Bowie, and the list just goes on, to all of the delegations and the representations of those who've come from the various corners of this earth that have been mentioned thus far, to my colleagues that sit here and our great sisterhood here in Jerusalem and globally. It just is endless. We can never begin to realize how long this list is. People that you've never heard of in South America, in Guyana. Elder Jordan first told Guyanese that they were the people of the Bible and brought them out of religion. You can go to Barbados and Trinidad, the list of the great souls that have stood up for our people to bring us to this very moment. It is endless. To the Nisikim, the Sarim, and Sarot, Atarim, and Atarot. To all of the Kasidah, Israel, the souls that have made transition. There's no way we can name all of them and remember all of them. So I just want to say to every one of them, those spirits, those souls in your hearing, again, blessed be the Holy One of Israel who brought them all here. And it has been said that the interest of Yah is what our purpose is here. And so as I give you that salutation, I want to let you know there's none greater, none more important to us than the Holy One of Israel.
Absolutely.
I may not be addressing at this very moment the idea of the summit in terms of what Saul mentioned, specifically who we are, but I want to say that it will be covered somewhere along the lines, because I think every one of us know who we are. And for those that do not, I just want to say that it will be Yah's way. Where we're headed, the end, it's already been told, the victory's already won. We just need to play our part. We who love Yah and observe his holy appointed seasons, as well as all of his laws, which means instructions, statutes, and commandments, are his servants on this planet. Any human being, Isaiah says, who observes the Shabbat and all the laws will be blessed. I'm not here to expound and tell you that I represent Torah. I represent, and mentioning, if you say Messianic, the appointed souls that have been in this earth. And those are many appointed. Someone uses Messianic. In the Hebrew language, there's a word called Mashiach, from whence we get the word Messianic. The word Mashiach is the only Hebraic term that represents an anointed and appointed person. In publishing my book, Final Resolution, The Separation of Truth and Lies in the Bible, a call had to be made to Abba Ben-Ami to ask him whether or not it should be published, because it said that we have a King David throne, which is fulfilled by the seed of Dawid and generations after generations, forever and ever. And I called Abba Ben-Ami the anointed, appointed person of Yah, rather than a Messianic person, which is a thought that comes from a foreign idea. There is no Messianic person anywhere in the Hebraic thought. Two persons are anointed: the King of Israel and the high priest.
That's right. That's right.
They are the anointed persons. The term Messianic comes in from a foreign influence. So again, with semantics, that's not the issue. That's why I'm not divided on that thought with any who holds that position. Any great person who was anointed or appointed by Yah, if you use the term Messianic, we are not in any disagreement. When it comes to the kingdom vision, therefore I can begin to read what I've written for this particular session. The teachings of the Torah is one that says we must love thy neighbor as thyself. We must love one another. It's a brotherhood teaching. It doesn't say that we do not have misunderstandings. It just gives us a format to work them out. We cannot hold a grudge against one another. We cannot hate our brother in our heart. That is a struggle for an individual. That's why this room is not filled, because only a remnant will return. Every one of us, though we are like the stars of the heaven and the sand of the sea, only a remnant shall return.
That's what it says.
Truth, unity, and freedom can be called tough. Truth, unity, and freedom. You have to be a tough individual to be disciplined, to have self-control, to execute it rather than just read and study it. James Allen, Universal Brotherhood, is expressed in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, which was expressed that Jerusalem would be the place from whence the law would go forth. He said that those nations would beat their weapons into spears and their spears into pruning hooks. Again, we know that it said that we would decide between nations.
Yes.
We would be the ones to make that decision. And we would resolve the issues, because after their great wars, they're going to be looking for another light. We will be it. If Israelites would unite ourselves for the sake of this human race, then we would be most capable of bringing morality to an evil world. The African Hebrew Israelites, the bona fide descendants of the ancient 12 tribes of Yaakov, and our brothers and sisters, whether they be of the Ishmaelites that understand the Holy One of Israel. There are many other cultures that recognize the Most High with a different term or name for him. He's great beyond the borders of Israel. Our minds must be open to understand this. When this is joined with humanity, a perfect combination of peoples to change the so-called Middle East and the world beyond. Imagine one voice acknowledging in agreement that the creator and maker of heaven and earth, who is Elohim. Elohim in the Hebrew language is a singular and a plural word at once.
That's right. That's right.
It represents the creator who is all powers in one spirit that is in the universe. In every living thing, his spirit is there. Within us is that breath of life, that nostril that has that breath within you, says that you are a living soul with a breath that can only come from the Holy One of Israel. Imagine all of us in joint broadcastings and teachings that the righteous laws of the Creator are the only universal constitution which man must be governed by in order to survive the destruction he's readying for all mankind. Understanding the cause and effect is understanding blessings and curses. Carried out by divine judgment can be best avoided when obedience is given by one's sincere adherence to the instructions of the Holy One of Israel. The late great Abba Ben-Ami, affectionately known, on his special visit to Guyana, South America, and in 2007, he spoke about what he called his baby jurisdiction. It was Guyana. The youngest community which shared and supported the same vision as the community in Israel and other jurisdictions globally. So I have no difference with the kingdom's position. In joining our staffs together, we solidified our understanding that Israelites in the diaspora or anywhere outside of the promised land of Israel would become one people once again. We said to ourselves, with no one present, nothing will ever separate us again. That's right. He and I clearly knew we had differences. We expressed it. But we also knew that those differences would never separate us again. This action would spiritually fulfill the prophecy found in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, verses 12 to 28.
Okay.
Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, Behold, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves, O my people, And I will bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have opened your graves, and have caused you to come up out of your graves, O my people. And I will put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And I will place you in your own land, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, have spoken and performed it, saith Yahweh Elohim. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, And thou, son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Yehudah, and for the children of Israel, his companion. Then take another stick, and write upon it for Yosef, the stick of Ephraim, and all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them for thee one to another into one stick. And when thy children, thy people, shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not tell us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh Yahweh Elohim, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I will put them unto him together with the stick of Yehudah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand.
Right. Right.
Hand of Yah. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. And say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the nations, whither they are gone, and I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them, so they shall be my people, and I will be their power. I'm going to end it out with the last few verses, because we all know what it says. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will establish them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forever. My dwelling place also shall be over them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the nation shall know that I, Yahweh, that sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forever.
That's right.
What do we mean by the sanctuary? You are the sanctuary. You have to be the representation of the righteousness that Yah expects us to be on this earth. The light of righteousness is what, and only is what, will turn nations to respect us. Diplomacy, an idea he initiated in conjunction with the Holy Council, and which remains in effect today in the community here in Dimona Israel. The truth must be taught to all humanity. The basis of the Torah will once again be recognized as the governing constitution of mankind. That's why he said the law, the instructions shall go out from this point. This is a testimony to the truth of Yah. Yehudah has brought us here. And I will tell you this with no hesitation. This presence is the greatest and most important thing that has ever happened in our time or in the time.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
not as a Judite. I'm telling you, Judah goes up first. Judah is the king forever. Now we must all look to Yah, our Creator, and His divine word to guide us forward. That's what I represent as Lewi. Obey His word, and He will establish the works of our hands. Man is overloaded with leaning on his own understanding, causing too much destruction on the earth. The time is overdue for us to acknowledge that we are destroying the planet with our own understanding. Yah's salvation says the following. This is so important, not only for our unity, but for the unity of the planet. Yeshayahu 56, 1 through 8. Yah's salvation. He says what His salvation is. Thus saith Yahweh, keep ye justice and do righteousness, for my salvation is near to come, and my favor to be revealed. Happy is the man that doeth this,
And the Son of Man.
and the Son of Man that holdeth fast by it,
Right.
that keepeth the Shabbat from profaning it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the alien say that have joined himself to Yah speak, saying, Yahweh will surely separate me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith Yahweh concerning the eunuchs that keep my Shabtot, and choose the things that please me, and hold fast to my covenant. Even them will I bring to my holy house, and within my walls a monument of a memorial, better than sons and daughters. And I will give them an everlasting memorial that shall not be cut off. Also the aliens that join themselves to Yah, to minister unto him, and to love the name of Yahweh,
That's right.
to be his servants.
That's right.
Everyone that keepeth the Shabbat from profaning it, and holdeth fast by my covenant, which is the Torah. That is the covenant.
That's right.
Even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer.
Why?
Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples, saith Yahweh Elohim, who gathereth the dispersed of Israel. Yet I will gather others to him, beside those of him that are gathered. This is for the nation. Coming to a close. I want you to know that. I have to say that because I know. So I'm standing right here. I know somebody's all right.
You're hot right now. You're all right.
Go ahead. Go be Lord. This is the end of it. One Lord.
That's right.
For the homeborn.
That's right. Torah Chat.
One Yah. No one, not Moses, not anyone, is equal to the Holy One of Israel. He is the creator and maker of heaven and earth. He is the eternal one. That's how you know. He tells us, cease ye from man,
Whose breath is in his
who
nostrils.
only has a breath in his nostrils.
That's right. Oh, what
You
account
must
is he?
understand that.
Right, right.
I've mentioned I can't name all the great ones. In our day and time, I had teachers too, but none as great as Abba Ben Ami in this day and time. Holy One of Israel, no one can be compared to him. He's from everlasting to everlasting. He knows the end. Ye shall have one manner of Lord, as well for the strangers, for the homeborn. count it unto you.